So many adventures.
Welcome back to the On Deck Show on Talk Radio 950 KOZE AM. Mike Tatko here, and we come to you from high atop Harris Field in the press box. We get set for a doubleheader today at 3 o'clock. It's the Battle of Oklahoma, Oklahoma Wesleyan against Oklahoma Baptist in an elimination game, and then Cumberland against Lewis Clark State tonight at 6:30. If Cumberland wins, they will play the winner of the Oklahoma Wesleyan Oklahoma Baptist game, and that team would have to beat Cumberland twice. If Lewis Clark State would win, Cumberland would draw a bye. They would be the only team that hasn't. And then the winner of the Oklahomas would play Lewis Clark State on Thursday, and the winner against Cumberland in a winner-take-all championship Friday. And I've said that scenario about 9 million times now, and it's hopefully clear to those of you listening. Jeff Butler from Riverside, California, the second baseman for Oklahoma Wesleyan, joins us. He is a World Series record holder now, tied the record set in 1987 by Pat Mackey of Lewis Clark State with 6 hits in one game yesterday, and none bigger than the one that came in the bottom of the 12th to drive in the winning run. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Talk about the progression of the game. Was the ball just looking huge to you yesterday, or were they just giving you pitches to hit, or what do you attribute the success to yesterday, Jeff?
I don't really see the ball any bigger than anything. I just handled with what I was given and just ended up working out in my favor.
Again, Jeff Butler, the second baseman for Oklahoma Wesleyan. You know, your club had a 29-game winning streak snapped the night before against Cumberland, and you had to come back, not a full 24-hour turnaround. You had to play one of the earlier games yesterday, and I know Coach Parker is here with you. What was the message from Coach Parker to the team following the game against Cumberland, and then again prior to the game yesterday against Tabor?
That the biggest game that we were going to play, the toughest game we were going to play, was going to be the next one. Coming off of a win streak like that, you kind of forget what losing kind of feels like, and the fact that they're coming off of a win and we're coming off of a loss is kind of pretty much just against our odds.
Again, we're visiting with Jeff Butler, and again, it was a back-and-forth game. You guys had a lot of offense, and then Tabor, whose bats had been kind of quiet after you had taken a 6-3 lead. They kind of chipped away, made it 6-5, and then in the top of the 8th, they erupted for 4 and took a 9-6 lead. Can you remember the mood in the dugout at that point? Because really, Jeff, you're down to 6 outs from elimination. They have a 3-run lead.
Well, one thing that our team has done all year is kind of keep calm in those situations, because you can't freak out and you can't just get caught up in the moment, and knowing that it could potentially be our last game of the season. It's just staying calm and quiet and doing with what opportunity of a job that's there for you.
You managed to get to those 3 runs back in the 8th, and again, you had a big hit in the 8th, and then the game went into extra innings, and we had not seen a 12-inning game here in the tournament for a couple of years. Tennessee Wesleyan and Embry-Riddle was the last game that went longer than 11 innings. As the game goes on, what is the mood like in the dugout? Is it more of a mood of desperation? Is it calm? Is it confidence? Because you're using pitchers, and your Coach Parker is doing a lot of substituting, as is the coach from Tabor. What is the mood like as the game continues to go on, especially the fact that it's an elimination game and somebody's going to be done?
Well, as the game kind of goes on, you naturally get a little tense, as you're behind. But one thing that the dugout people do, and everybody in the dugout, in our dugout especially, is that you've got to keep calm in those situations and keep going and just keep plugging away for your goal.
So you come up to the plate in the bottom of the 12th in a 9-9 tie with 2 outs and runners on first and third. You already had 5 hits. Everyone in the press box knew you had 5 hits. I'm sure Tabor had an idea that you had multiple hits. And a good hitter in the lineup behind you in Jose Ruiz. We were talking up here in the press box whether or not they should walk you and deal with him, a lefty, even though they had a righty on the mound. Did you think they might walk you?
Being in front of Jose all year, you kind of let Jose do his magic. When he comes to the plate, if I was the other team, I would much rather face me rather than Jose. So I never crossed my mind that they were going to come for me.
So what was the pitch, and was it the pitch you were looking for?
Yeah, it was an inside fastball. I mean, all game they've been working away from me, and I kind of kept pounding that 4-3 hole, and then they just kind of came in on me, and I had a little hunch, and it worked out in my favor.
So the base hit to left field, the run scored, the win by a score of 10-9, and then a bunch of people come streaming out of that dugout, and you're standing over there at first base by yourself with the first base coach. Did you think you were going to get steamrolled and just overrun by 23 other people?
Yeah, I mean, when you do something like that, you kind of got to just wear it at that point.
Well, it was a huge win for Oklahoma Wesleyan. Now you're going to play Oklahoma Baptist, a club from your same state. You've met once before in the regular year, and Oklahoma Baptist with a 2-1 victory. Obviously, that's thrown out the window. That was several months ago. What is the approach today in the early game against the Bison?
In today's approach, I assume we're just going to play our game and do everything that we can when the opportunity comes up, and whatever job is perceived in front of us, we just got to seize the moment.
Talking with Jeff Butler, the second baseman for Oklahoma Wesleyan, one of the things that was documented in today's paper is some of the things that happen between innings. Can you talk about some of the things that you do without a baseball and how that came about?
Well, it kind of all started out from Vanderbilt because they go out there and they do their stretches, and then it started out earlier in the season led by Andrew Murphy and Gunnar Joyce, and they go out there and they just were stretching, and they said it kind of evolved into this theatric, I guess, where they do different scenarios of a football field goal to a line layups and to a football play to even scoring touchdowns.
So are the football plays, are they choreographed? Do you always have the same field goal kicker, or can anyone step in and be the kicker?
It kind of switches it up. I guess they probably all designate it before they go out there, but I've seen different kickers at times.
The second thing I want to talk to you about, I guess it's all baseball related because we're at a national baseball tournament, but the slogan that your club has, which is keep your fork, and you brought with you a fork that I wish we were on TV, but I know people have seen it. Talk about the slogan, keep your fork, and how it came to be as well.
Well, keep your fork, it came from something that we found online, and it kind of just stuck with us. Keep your fork kind of just means to just kind of the best is yet to come, in a sense, and that there's a story that we were reading about, and it's this lady, she has cancer, and she is talking to the priest about how she's working about her funeral, and in her right hand, she tells the priest, like, in my right hand, I want to be buried with, in my open casket, I want